Adrian walked into the restaurant with cautious optimism, straightening his navy blazer as he scanned the room his friend Marcus had set this up, insisting it was time Adrian got back into dating after his divorce. "She's perfect for you," Marcus had promised, smart, kind, and she specifically asked to meet you. That last part had given Adrian pause. Why would someone specifically want to meet him? But Marcus had waved off his concerns, and now here he was, searching for a woman he'd never seen. Then he spotted her. She stood near the center of the restaurant, her wavy brown hair catching the light. Wearing a white blouse and red skirt, she was beautiful, but there was something tentative in the way she held herself. Their eyes met, and she smiled with what looked like relief. Adrian crossed the room, extending his hand. "Hi, I'm Adrian Olivia," she said, shaking his hand. Her grip was firm, but her palm was slightly damp, nervous. "It's nice to finally meet you." Finally? Adrian thought, how long had she known about him? They sat at a table by the window. The afternoon light streaming in the restaurant buzzed with conversation around them. But Adrian found himself focused entirely on this woman who'd specifically wanted to meet him, so he began, trying for casual. "Marcus tells me you work in pediatric nursing?" "I do," Olivia said, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. "At Children's Memorial downtown. That must be rewarding." "It is," she agreed, then fell silent, studying him with an intensity that made Adrian shift in his seat. "Is something wrong?" he asked. Olivia took a breath, then leaned forward slightly. "Adrian, I need to tell you something, and I'm not sure how to start." His stomach dropped. This wasn't going to be a normal date, was it? "Okay," he said carefully, "I'm listening." Olivia glanced around the restaurant, as if checking who might overhear, then spoke quietly. "I'm not really here for a blind date." "You're not?" "No," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm here to say thank you." Adrian felt confusion wash over him. "Thank me? For what?" "I've never met you before." "You haven't," Olivia agreed. "But 3 years ago, you saved my little brother's life." The world seemed to tilt slightly. Adrian gripped the edge of the table. "What? May 15th. 3 years ago," Olivia continued, her eyes glistening. "There was a fire in an apartment building on Riverside. You were one of the firefighters who responded." The memory hit Adrian like a physical blow. He remembered that day. The smoke, the heat, the screaming. "The third floor," he said quietly. "There was a boy." Olivia nodded, a tear sliding down her cheek. "His name is Tyler. He was 7 years old. He's my baby brother. Our parents had died 6 months earlier, and I'd just gotten custody of him. I was at work when the fire started. Our neighbor was watching him." Adrian remembered pulling that boy from the burning apartment, how light he'd felt in Adrian's arms, how still he wasn't breathing when I got him out. "But you didn't give up," Olivia said. "The paramedics told me later that you performed CPR for almost 6 minutes before his heart started again. You saved him." Adrian, he'd done his job that day. Nothing more, but seeing the gratitude in this woman's eyes, understanding that the child he'd carried out had a family, a sister who loved him. It made something in his chest tighten. "I'm glad he made it," Adrian said, his voice rough. "Is he okay now?" "He's perfect," Olivia said, pulling out her phone to show him photos. "He's 10 now. He plays soccer. He's obsessed with dinosaurs. He wants to be a paleontologist, and every single day of his life since that fire is because of you." Adrian stared at the photos of a grinning boy with missing front teeth and Olivia's same warm eyes. "Why now?" he asked. "Why find me now, after 3 years?" Olivia set down her phone. "Because it took me this long to be able to face you without completely falling apart. And because Tyler has been asking about you, wanting to thank you himself, but mostly because I needed you to know what your courage meant." "I was just doing my job." "You risked your life," Olivia corrected. "The building was declared structurally unsound 20 minutes after you went in. You could have died saving my brother, but I didn't." "No," she agreed, "you didn't. And neither did Tyler, and that's everything." They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of her words settling between them. "So this isn't really a date," Adrian said. Finally, Olivia looked embarrassed. "I'm sorry for the deception. Marcus is actually my neighbor. He's been trying to set me up with someone for months. When I finally told him why I kept refusing, why I wasn't ready to date, he told me he knew you, that you were his friend from college, and he arranged this. I asked him to. Olivia admitted I wanted to meet you face to face, to say thank you properly. I hope you're not angry. Adrian should have been annoyed at the setup, but looking at this woman who'd carried the weight of gratitude for 3 years, he found he couldn't be. I'm not angry, he said. I'm honored that you wanted to find me. Olivia's smile was genuine this time. Would you like to meet Tyler? He's with a friend right now, but he'd love to meet his hero. I'm not a hero. You are to us. Something in Adrian's heart, something that had been closed off since his divorce, cracked open slightly. I'd love to meet him. They ordered lunch, and the conversation shifted. Olivia told him about raising her brother while working full-time, about the challenges of suddenly becoming a parent at 23, about the guilt she still carried over not being there the day of the fire. I should have been home, she said quietly. If I'd been there. You couldn't have known, Adrian interrupted, and you've been there every day, since. That's what matters. How do you deal with it? Olivia asked with the what-ifs. Adrian thought about his own what-ifs. What if he'd tried harder in his marriage? What if he'd been home more instead of always at the station? You don't, he said. Honestly, you just learn to carry them. They talked until the lunch rush ended and the restaurant began to empty, about the fire service, about nursing, about loss and resilience, and the strange ways life surprises you. When they finally stood to leave, Olivia hesitated. Adrian, I know this was supposed to be a setup, and I know it wasn't real, but would you maybe want to have coffee sometime? As friends? Friends, the word should have been disappointing instead. It felt like possibility. I'd like that, Adrian said. And I really would like to meet Tyler. Olivia's face lit up. How about Saturday? We usually go to the park in the afternoon. You could join us. It's a date. Then he paused. I mean, not a date, just... Olivia laughed, and it was the first completely unguarded sound he'd heard from her. I know what you mean. Saturday came, and Adrian found himself more nervous than he'd been for the fake blind date. He met them at Riverside Park, bringing a soccer ball after Olivia mentioned Tyler's love for the sport. The boy who ran up to him was nothing like the still, smoke-stained child from his memory. Tyler was all energy and enthusiasm, his dark hair flopping into his eyes. Are you really the firefighter who saved me? He asked breathlessly. I guess I am. Without warning, Tyler threw his arms around Adrian's waist. Thank you for not letting me die. Adrian felt his throat close up. He knelt down to Tyler's level. You're very welcome, buddy. Do you want to play soccer with me? I'd love to. They spent the afternoon in the park. Adrian played soccer with Tyler while Olivia watched from a bench occasionally, calling out encouragement later. They got ice cream, and Tyler peppered Adrian with questions about firefighting, about equipment, about the bravest thing he'd ever done. The bravest thing I ever did was pull your sister's contact information from the incident report and agree to meet her, Adrian said, making Olivia blush as the sun began to set. Tyler grew tired, leaning against his sister. Can Adrian come back next week? He asked if he wants to, Olivia said, looking at Adrian questioningly. I'd like that. Over the following months, Saturday afternoons became routine park visits, soccer games, trips to the Natural History Museum to feed Tyler's dinosaur obsession, and slowly, the friendship between Adrian and Olivia deepened into something more. They took it slow, both of them carrying scars from their pasts, but there was an ease between them, built on honesty and understanding. 6 months after their first meeting, Adrian and Olivia had their first real date, just the two of them, at the same restaurant where they'd met. I should probably tell you, Adrian said over dinner, that I'm falling in love with you. Olivia set down her wine glass. I should probably tell you that I already have. Yeah, she confirmed. Is that okay? It's more than okay. A year later, Adrian proposed at Riverside Park. With Tyler's enthusiastic approval, the boy had become like a son to him, and Olivia had become his future on their wedding day. Tyler served as best man in his speech at the reception. The 11-year-old said something that made everyone cry. Adrian saved my life 3 years ago, but I think maybe I saved his too, because before he met us, Olivia says he was sad and alone, and now he smiles all the time, so maybe we saved each other later. As they danced, Olivia whispered in Adrian's ear, "I never did properly, thank you." "You thank me every day," Adrian said, "by letting me be part of your family." "Our family," she corrected. "I love you. I love you too." Adrian thought about that day 3 years ago, about carrying a small boy from a burning building, about the split-second decisions that change everything he'd never expected.